Hi, and welcome to Gathered Glow. I'm Jackie Price, and this is a space where we gather to think a little deeper, live a bit more intentionally, and reconnect with what actually matters. Today's conversation is with Michael Gott, Senior Pastor of Unity Houston. Michael is known for his thoughtful, grounded approach for spirituality, helping people navigate real life and make sense of some of their journey with clarity, compassion, and inner steadiness. In this conversation, we explore what it looks like to stay centered in a world that feels noisy and sometimes uncertain. It can be fast, it can be overwhelming, and how do we reconnect with ourselves in the middle of it all? And what is humanity calling us to evolve to? I'm really excited for you to hear this one, so let's get in. Yeah, I'm a little nervous right now in a good way. You know, when you're really looking forward to having a conversation with someone just in
Yeah,
general, and I feel really fortunate that others will be able to hear this conversation. So
good. Me
it
too.
feels a little I don't know, maybe there's a little extra excitement or nerves with it. Kind of
Yeah.
blends into both.
Well, I've been on stages my entire life, and the nervousness comes and goes, just
Yeah.
depending on what it is, and it's it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I know that I'm here because I believe in you, and I want to support you,
Thank you.
and I want to have this conversation with you.
Thank
So
you.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm so glad that you were here. Um, Michael Gott, Senior Minister of Unity, thank you so much for being here. Not only have you been in ministry for 20 years and
mm,
sharing, spiritual practices, but also your gifts of music as well and just connecting with people.
mm.
And I feel like as part of your congregation, I've gotten to learn so much from you. And I'm excited to talk to you today because I think we're at a point, I think, in time where there's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things in the world that we're navigating, and there always has been. But I think the access to information and news and social media and just things, vying for our attention has increased the level of feelings of uncertainty or
Mm-hmm.
anxiety.
Yeah, Jackie, I'm one who kind of cautions us against well, of course it feels special to us because we're here now, but I mean it's always been special to the people that are on the planet, but there is something different about
Yeah.
this time. I was on a call with three colleagues this week, and we have a really kind of cool format. We each get like 15 minutes to just share what's going on with us, and then we get real feedback. It's
Mhm.
like they know us, we've known each other a long time, and we say, well, this is what I know about you, this is what I'm seeing. And one Reverend Cynthia James, she's spoken at Unity before. She's fabulous, amazing, and she just there were a couple of things that a couple of us shared, and she said, no, this is on the planet right now. We are being asked to step into what we believe in a big way. It's like the universe is going, are you sure? Are you ready? We've got to keep moving forward. But this
Mm.
kind of feeling of ooh, we haven't been here before. Individually, collectively, I think you're right. I think this is it's like a, so this is kind of cool.
Okay.
In biological
Uh-huh.
evolution, there is this theory called punctuated equilibrium, where organisms stay the same for millions and millions of years, and then the environment changes, where it goes major drought or just everything changes, and then those species they have what they call punctuated something. It happens, and there's a lot of change quickly. And I think that we're in one of those periods spiritually
Mm.
as a species. Like we're a lot, the environment is changing quickly, and we're being asked to change. But I think evolution only moves forward. So I think it's a good thing if we're
Mm.
willing to change.
What change do you think it's calling for us to bring?
Yeah. Well, I've come from a spiritual perspective, and I love at Unity, we're a non dual spiritual tradition. So we teach that God is the great reality,
Yeah.
that the divine is. So I think it's more God consciousness and seeing it in all that is, but mostly in each other.
Mm.
Because humanity, like just the political system in our own country, it's so divided and us and them and, picking sides. And I think that's what we have to change, is just get back to seeing the divinity in each other, seeing
Yeah.
our, and I think it's other people. I think it's the way that we hold and interact with other people is the thing that is really asking for change right now.
Mm. I agree.
Good.
I really do deeply. It's weird. Honestly, I'm kind of split.
Yeah. Okay.
I am split. I feel, and oftentimes, like this is how my brain and my emotions, everything kind of works. There's two polar like truths that kind of live in
Hmm.
parallel, but don't always look the same. And so, I don't know if I told you this. This week I was in Japan.
No, you
Yeah.
didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I was in Japan and had the opportunity to visit Hiroshima Museum,
Oh, wow.
and that I was so emotional.
I bet.
I like even talking about it. But everything you just said about seeing the humanity in other people and understanding what we're being called to like see in others and to understand the power in other individuals and life
Hmm.
and humanity. It was a really touching experience. And I think so much of what you just said rings so true to me. And then there's a part of me that's like, it feels a little different.
Well, yeah, say, what is that other
Yeah,
side for
there's
you?
another part of me that feels like evolution happens. Well, everything feels like there's levels,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
something can be true on one level,
Hmm.
and that same truth doesn't apply the same way on other levels. If that makes
I
sense.
think so. I think I'm tracking you there.
So part of me is like, in terms of like humanity, and man, I'm gonna try to explain what my brain is thinking in a way that is like makes sense. This may or may not, but I'm gonna say it. It's almost like if I told you like the laws of gravity, like gravity is important. We all understand if I like drop something, it's gonna fall, right?
Right.
But if I drop something in water, it's gonna act differently. And if I drop something in space, it's gonna act different. And so there's some truths, I think, on certain planes that are requiring evolution, but it doesn't act or mean the same thing on other levels. And so I think part of us has to keep that in balance, knowing that, like, no matter what happens, no matter if no change happens here or a lot of change happens for humanity or humankind,
Hmm.
if people see the good in others or don't, doesn't change us on certain levels. We were the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
No, that's where I thought you were going with
Perfect.
this, and I agree
Yeah.
completely. There is a capital R reality,
Yeah.
which is not about form.
Yes.
And so, but my feeling about it is that reality expresses here,
Hmm.
and but this is only part of it. I
Yes.
think that if you think of like God being like this trans-dimensional experience, like we're just having this one, but it's not, the divine is not bound by what the way we think of, we're so linear in the way we think of
Yeah.
time, and it's not like that. So I agree with
Yeah.
you. But so I guess I tend to be kind of more focused on
Yes.
how we reveal God here.
Yeah.
And so someone told me once, you can think of spirituality as being a psycho-spiritual spectrum. And I tend to just enter in more on the psychological side. That's
Mhm.
just not that I don't discount any of the whatever para anything, the clairvoyance, all of that stuff. I know it's real, but I just tend to focus more on how I'm with my body,
Yeah.
with my heart, with my mind here, and I think that I exist in those other realms as well, but I don't know how to access that, or how that's, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love people that are very grounded in
Yeah,
this
I
because I feel like I'm like, we're walking in two areas
you had
all the
some
time.
amazing openings in your life, in your spiritual experience, that when we went to tea
Yeah.
and coffee and you shared with me, I don't doubt a moment of your experience, but that's not the way that
Yeah.
the universe has revealed itself to
Yeah.
me. But I love that for you.
I think it's interesting though because it's like the universe does reveal itself differently.
Mary Morrissey, she's spoken at Unity years ago. She says that the Holy Spirit speaks in tongues,
Yeah.
meaning that the universe speaks to every individual in the language of their own soul. I really believe that. Like my relationship with the infinite is different than anybody else's. And in this lifetime, where I'm a minister, I'm gay, I have this family from Oklahoma that's Pentecostal,
Uh-huh.
all those things. The channels are heart and music, deep feeling.
Yeah.
That's kind of the language of my soul right here. But I know that there's all this other stuff happening too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're so connected with your language
Thank you.
and with your feelings. And I think that, talking about what's going on in the world and expressing ourselves and seeing others for who they are, you have to be kind of connected with yourself. I think if you're not in touch, it's hard to recognize another, even if it's different.
No, that is like another one of those little paradoxes that I can't really know somebody else until I know myself.
Yeah.
And I think it's the trap of codependence where
Hmm.
all of my well-being and okayness has to be, if I take care of you and all that over there,
Yeah.
then it keeps me from having to know myself, because I'm all out there in you and your experience of
Yeah.
me. Enough about me. What do you think of me?
Yeah. Like knowing that you have to be in touch with yourself. How have you done that in your life and your spiritual practice and your journey? Because I
Yeah.
feel like, I don't know, for me, I feel like it's a never ending, like it's new versions of me and then like relearning different parts of me and
Hmm.
accepting and realizing I have to let go of other parts and other feelings that I used to feel strongly about something and now I don't. And
All of that is true for me as well. I'm pretty forthcoming about my personal history. Growing up, gay in that fundamentalist Christian world in the 70s when I was a kid, and in the 80s when I sort of became a teenager and was aware of that. That was really, really hard. And
Mhm.
it just kind of forced me to look within and what is true for me. And also then developing addiction and alcoholism in my 20s. Again, really, really hard lessons. I sometimes, you probably heard me say this, I'm a really quick study, except about anything that matters. And then it's like, it takes a long time for me to learn the lessons of surrender,
Yeah.
of trusting life. It's been long, and it's like rinse and repeat.
Mhm.
Some of the, you've heard the layers of the onion metaphor.
Mhm.
It's like I've done this healing with my mom, and then, oh, here it comes again 10 years later, and
Yeah.
like more of that is, I'm turning 60 next month,
Ooh.
and it's like I'm in a whole new, there's like all this, I started
Yeah.
writing this memoir about 2 years ago, and so all of this stuff, the
Mhm.
pain and I feel so much compassion for the younger versions of myself, but that
Mhm.
the pain is here again,
Mm.
and it's
Mm.
different.
Mm.
What I was telling my friend Maggie, who's spoken at Unity, Maggie Cole, she's brilliant. She that I'm a stronger vessel now.
Mm.
I wasn't when I was 19. I couldn't handle it, so I had to
Mm.
find alcohol. I had to find something else. Even when I was in my 30s, I was just busy.
Mhm.
I would busy it away, and I was always hustling. And at this stage in my life, while I'm still busy, I think I just have the strength to just be in it.
Yeah.
On my way over here, listening to another podcast,
Uh-huh.
and someone quoted Anne Lamott, who I love, wonderful writer, said that sometimes we are called to walk into a wound and just stand there a while.
Mm.
And I feel like I'm in a little one of those places.
Mm.
And I don't know how we got here from the
Yeah.
conversation, but the the stages, the seasons, the yeah, it's always new, and then yet there are sort of echoes
Yeah.
from previous work that I've done. I will say, having a couple years on you, that if I can just kind of keep my face pointed towards growth, towards healing, towards wholeness, really, if
Mhm.
I can keep my face directed towards, I just want to know my own wholeness more and
Yeah.
more, then I'm always going to be okay.
Mm.
And every new iteration of the dealing with the pain, holding it, letting it move through, letting it dissipate, I find on the other side of it, I have greater freedom than
Mhm.
I had before.
Mm.
I have greater access to my authenticity than I had before. And I don't know if that's universal, but I think that for me, that's kind of the shape of this Earth school right now. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. And I want to ask, and like I know this wasn't like the intention of the direction, but you mentioned that growing up in the 70s and having to face like adversity. And we talked about like evolving to see God in humanity.
Hmm.
How did that shape your view of humanity and how people treated you, or judgment, or wanting to like, kind of put you in a box?
Hmm. Yeah, very much. It shaped me a lot. Because, in that kind of fundamentalist Christian world that I was part of, I was told that I'm on the right team. I'm good.
Hmm.
I'm going to the right place. I'm doing all the right things. And then when this real core thing in me came up that I was, no, you're not. You're not that. It was such a boy, a cognitive dissonance that I was like, I don't know how I live if I can't be this perfect Christian kid that that I was presenting to be and that I thought I was supposed to be. But in that world, I thought it was really okay to see other people as not
Hmm.
okay with. They're not part of God. They're
Hmm.
not part of. They really are different. They're wicked. They're evil. I mean, that was the language.
Yeah.
And then when suddenly I was like, well, am I one of them or am I one of us? It was like that
Yeah.
period. It was the most painful period of my life. But what emerged was this deeper awareness. Oh, there is no them. It's only us. It's
Yeah.
all us. And that has stayed with me since my early 20s. It's like, no, we're in this thing together.
Hmm.
And I still get tempted into othering people, but I know that my theology, my understanding of truth doesn't allow me to stay
Hmm.
there. So I have, as difficult as it is, can I see that this person is a mirror of myself in some way?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's difficult. I think that's really hard because I feel like, one, I think I have a knowing that deeply we're all connected. And so, like, judging others feels deeply pointless. On the surface, I do have to recognize, like, who I want in my life and who I don't based
Hmm.
on their beliefs, their values, and just that energy exchange that happens.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, when anyone says they think that they're better than someone, or they have, I don't know, some belief that they can pass a judgment on where they're from, where they're going, who they are, I'm like, I feel like I get like an eye twitch because I so deeply am like, and I have since I was like maybe 5 years old. I have so deeply been like, I would sit in kids' church and be so angry and
Yeah.
think, do you not understand what you're saying?
Wow. Well, I quoted you in one of your earlier podcasts about when you had this awareness of like, oh, that thing I was seeing in her, that's me. I don't remember what it was, but you were like, it was like this awakening for you. And it moved me so much that I put it in my message the next Sunday. Like, I heard this on Jackie's podcast. But
Yeah.
it's like, wow, when it
Yeah.
becomes personal. Yeah. Not only are they're doing the judging, but I was doing it too.
Yeah. And it was wild because it was even good things. It was
Yeah.
even advice. It was even positive comments. It was like,
Yeah, I
well,
remember you
all of
said.
this was for you. Hello, it's all here for you.
Yeah.
That was wild. That was I mean, talk about like honestly like 10 years of information in like a couple seconds.
So, and I know you're asking me the questions, but
Yeah,
I want to
no,
ask
go
you,
ahead.
why is it that you think you had that capacity to open that wide and that deep at such a young age? I was so enculturated
Yeah.
when I think you were younger then than you are now, and you're still younger now than I am quite a bit, but it was, well, just, yeah. I mean, why is it is that just how you came in this way? Because you had like some big openings.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I was like 5 or 6 when I realized like I was really angry. I was a
Yeah.
happy kid. I had a good life. I was so mad. I honestly would ask like, why am I back here? Why am I back in a body? My remembrance of where I came from still so vividly, like everything sometimes I still have moments where I'm like mad about being here a little bit.
Mm.
I'm like, look around. Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? It's all been said
Yeah.
a million times, 1,000 times, in 1,000 different cultures in so many different ways. What here do you want me to add right now? Because I'm a little frustrated that some people have spent so much energy and time to convey such powerful and beautiful messages thousands and thousands of years ago in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And people are still using it to put
Mm-hmm.
others in boxes, to put them down,
Yeah.
to not see the truth. And it's frustrating because there are certain levels of truth that it's almost like reading like poetry. If you've never experienced being in love before, like you read it and you're like, oh, I get it. And then like you get your heart broken and you experience real love and like you read it again and like it brings tears to your eyes and you're like, that those words are the same words, but this has totally shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much that I like read or see and I'm like, I hear what others are saying and they're not wrong. Yes, what you're saying is not wrong, but like you can't see the depth of this. And in our dimension and where we live right now, how we experience life, even the moments of like that I have, it can only be remembered in pieces that can connect with this plane a bit.
Mm.
I don't, how do I like I realize that a lot more downloaded, but what my mind can retain has to be translated in a way that can connect here a bit.
Yeah.
And I think that having those experiences from such a young age, I mean, I used to be scared in church to say, like, what I'm feeling, what I actually know. I mean, I thought I was a little, like, if I tell someone, they're going to be like, you're crazy. So I started writing things down that I would feel that would happen, and they would
Wow.
always happen.
And that was not our church.
No. No, and
Thank you,
honestly,
Denise.
it wasn't any direct experience other than like just this fear that I realized then I was so different in how I
Yeah.
feel, see. I mean, in every way, I would even sit in church and be like, so right and so wrong.
Mm.
So right and so wrong. And realizing that people have to get there on their own time,
Yeah.
and being very patient. But I think the downloads, like really what happened is similar to what you shared. I think sometimes the moments of like true, like the deepest like pain or discomfort
Mm-hmm.
has been a way to access
Mm-hmm.
more. So like
Yeah.
I want peace for everyone. I want happiness and joy, but I think some suffering in this life is very healthy and needed,
Well,
and
it's
that's why
here.
you're here.
Yeah.
And I think that fear and suffering only exist here. And when you see the other side a little bit, part of the gifts you're given here is that, even though it doesn't feel like a gift.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard spiritual teachers say that we can learn love through the contrast here because we can experience unloving behavior. We can witness unloving behavior, whereas on the other side, it's all love, and we
Yeah.
understand that's reality. And so we understand that, like you said, the poetry means a little different.
Mm-hmm.
It hits different when we've had our hearts broken open
Mm-hmm.
by a relationship. Yeah, I like to say humanity is a mixed bag at best. It's like we create holocausts and we create symphonies.
Yeah.
That's all in us.
Yeah.
It's like, so why aren't we just, using all this energy for beauty and art and love?
Mm.
And it feels like it's like that's your frustration because you see that it's like, why are we using all this energy? Why are we spending all this energy on that which is not who we are?
Yeah, and I think even if someone chose actively whatever they wanted to create and do, but what's really frustrating is so many people are deciding and acting and they have no idea the repercussions.
Hmm.
And I don't just mean like to them. I mean like you will be carrying some of this
Yeah.
with you. And the with you is actually not just singular to you, we are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So please stop for all of us.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, Ernest Holmes is one of my primary teachers. I didn't know him in person. He died
Mhm.
before I was born, but he founded our sister organization, which is Centers for Spiritual Living. He wrote the book called The Science of Mind. That's his masterwork. And the whole process is what we teach in Unity 2 is that we have access to the transformational power of spirit through our thought, that we can
Mm.
change our thought, change our beliefs, and we can have a new experience of life, of God, of each other. And he said something when he was trying to ask him, "What do you believe?" And he had a few statements, and one of them was this. He said, "I believe that all souls are reconciled into God,
Mm-hmm.
and we have eternity to do that."
Mm-hmm.
So we're only seeing. Oh, so this is another thing I want to share with you, Jackie. I have a recovery program that I've been a part of for a long time. I don't want to say its name because I don't want to present myself as being an exemplar of it, but you would know it if I talked about bad coffee. It's like people, so, and there's some steps involved.
Okay.
But a friend of mine who was a few years ahead of me in the program, she would say that when I'm seeing someone who's just acting the fool, what I try to remember is that I'm just seeing a tiny slice
Yeah.
of their experience and of
Mm-hmm.
their life. And then she would relate an experience when she was in her addiction, and some of the things, like some of her stories, were like horrifying. She would
Mm-hmm.
share. This is what, and she said there are people walking around planet Earth who think that's who I am,
Mm-hmm.
but that was just a tiny slice.
Yeah.
And we're still, we get what, 70, 100 years here in one body. Um, we're only seeing a tiny slice, and I don't know the way it works in terms of karma and carrying things forward,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how that all works, but Jesus was just so clear, don't judge or you're going to be judged. I mean, that's just the thing. And if we can just not judge, yeah, because yeah. And most of my pain, like right now, is like me
Mm.
judging me.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's like there's a pattern that I adopted as a young, maybe even pre-verbally in my family of
Mm-hmm.
origin, where I was a sensitive soul in that system, and there was some dysfunction going on, some pain in the family. And my mom, she was 26 when she had me. She was young. She had a child. My brother was difficult, willful child. Her mom was dying of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Her beloved little nephew had just died, and she was in a lot. And the message I got, I know she was just frustrated and at her wits' end trying to handle her life.
Mm-hmm.
But not only did I do something wrong, but I was wrong.
Mm.
There was something not, yeah, there's something wrong with me. And whenever I'm in a time of difficulty or frustration, there's an old, like we used to say
Mm.
tape, but there was like an old file that would play. It's like, I'm doing this wrong. There's something wrong. And it's like up again. And now I have a lot of tools. And so I've got some work within that program. I have an incredible therapist I'm working with
Mm-hmm.
right now. I have other mentors and prayer partners. I have other people
Mm-hmm.
that I can trust to bring
Yeah.
my precious shit to
Yeah.
and say, here, yeah, here's where I'm at. And they can witness and sometimes share some of their experience, strength, and hope.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got off on that. I started
No, I
preaching.
want to know.
Sorry.
I want to know if you're willing to share too. And this is just like curiosity. Why do you think that's coming back up right now?
Well, I think it is. Told you I started writing this memoir, and
Yeah.
when I was healing and kind of getting my life together in those, I was busy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I had time to fully grieve what had happened and what I lost, and I just think like when I finished, I had written, like, it's the first draft. I'd written like I think 11 chapters at that time, and working with the development editor, and she said, now your job is to go back and read it start to front like a book and just see how it feels. I was so resistant, I couldn't. But I
Mm-hmm.
finally, I made myself do it. And when I finished the last thing I'd written, I just, like, this wave of like sorrow and pain. I was just sobbing like a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a verbal processor. I'm an extrovert. So I was like, I've got to get some words here. I don't know what this is. And the phrases that came out were like, there's a lot of pain in my story.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second phrase that came out, there's a lot of love in my story
Mm-hmm.
too. And then the third was, if this will benefit someone else, I will do the work. I will finish this. I will put this out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it opened up a relationship to the former me and
Mm-hmm.
lots of former me's along the way that like I said, I'm now strong enough to hold their
Yeah.
pain. They couldn't hold it,
Yeah.
those younger versions of me, but I can hold it. And so I think that's what this is. It's here
Mm-hmm.
now. So it's a healing. Well, one of my mentors, Kathy Hearn, she says, when we heal a false belief, we heal it for ourselves, past and future, and for all people, past and future. So I think that's what this is, that it's here now so that I can heal it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's powerful work. And it's
Yeah.
not easy. And I know,
No.
like, I think sometimes in like a healing journey, people want to see like the smile and be like, oh, like, I'm so good that you're healing. But you're like, it's also really hard. Like, I'm tired. Like, it
Yeah.
takes a lot of energy. And the roots can be really deep and in places that you did not expect them to like
Yeah.
find. Like, as you start tracing it back, you're like, I kind of like saw these like bigger chapters and I knew that there was like pain. And now it starts leading to areas that you're like, I forgot.
Yeah.
I had no remembrance of that, but that is connected to this.
That's my experience. Like things like stories would come and I would write them down and then just whoa, just it was the pain that I was feeling then, but I didn't have a place to hold it
Yeah.
or way to understand it. But now I can. And I was in my therapist's office, and he's a Jungian analyst, so it's all about depth. They like go deep, like search for the deep meaning in this. And I'll just tell you a quick story. When I was 16, my mom asked me to drive her to where her car had been worked on, get an oil change or something. And so we get in my 1976 Chevy Malibu. This would have been like 1983 or something like that, and only had an AM radio. And I'm a musician, so
Yeah.
it's like, but that's what I had. And so I turned on the ignition, and the AM radio top 40 station was playing.
Mhm.
And my mom looked at me, and I turned it off. It was filled with shame. She's like, you shouldn't be listening to that, because I was only supposed to listen to Christian music.
Mm.
And oh my God, just I was flooded with shame. And then it was like Olivia Newton-John. I mean,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like so innocent.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't even register, but when I'm writing the story, I realized if that 16-year-old, he must have been knowing that if his mom really knew what was going on,
Yeah.
if she's that upset about me listening to Olivia Newton-John on
Yeah.
an AM radio, how upset would she be to know that I'm gay? It was
Mm.
just, and I couldn't hold it. But now, and as I'm writing it, all these feelings are here. So my therapist, I was sitting on a couch in his office, and I'm sitting here, and he said, "So you're in the driver's seat in that '76 Chevy. Move to where your mom was sitting, and see if you have any experience of what that was like for her."
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I just got a sense of like, oh my gosh, the judgmental, the harshness of that religion. It harmed us all.
Yeah.
That I'm sure she was trying to protect me, but what I needed was acceptance and love and a clear, an open path of communication about what's real, but that wasn't available to us.
Mm-hmm.
So what I got was this judgment and shame and pain, but it hurt her too,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the kind of work I'm doing, and my life is good.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I am happy and I'm healthy, and there's just things happen, and like I feel the heaviness and the sadness for a few
Yeah.
days, and then it kind of ebbs and flows, but I'm good. Yeah.
Shame is a hard thing though. I
Mm,
think it's really heavy and I don't know if like it's, I think people talk about anger, sadness. I don't know if we talk enough about shame
yeah.
because I feel like it can be a real prison in a lot of ways and
Yeah.
I think it can be helpful in a moment to like sometimes just indicate that there's something we need to look at there. That there's
But it's
something.
cyclical. That's
Yes.
when you get in a shame spiral.
Yes.
It's really incapacitating,
Yeah.
and that's where addiction is a shame
Yeah.
based condition. And yeah, so I know a lot about that, and I have yeah, yeah, kind of clawed my way out of some of those
Mm-hmm.
shame spirals. And I'm not experiencing the shame
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I remember what he
Yeah.
experienced, and just I like my whole body would just be like, just covered like that with this like feeling of absolute dread about if anyone finds out who I am.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it's a tough thing,
Yeah.
and we need help. And that, to my point, we need people. So
Mm-hmm.
I began to unwind it when I was 19 at my very conservative Christian university. I went to the counseling office and got a kind psychiatrist or psychologist who would listen.
Yeah.
And that's where my healing journey really began, in his office in 1985,
I mean, that was before I think, I think even therapy was, especially for like men for a while, kind of like taboo. It was, and so I feel like you were way ahead of your time. And to be at that age and to have that much trust from your background in another person,
Yeah.
pretty
Well, it was a friend of mine's mother who worked at the university, and I think she
okay.
knew, and she just behind the scenes just kind of said, "I think you should go talk to Dr.
Yeah.
Gillingham, and it'd be okay."
Yeah.
So I had forgotten that piece until this moment, and I
Mm.
think it was Frances who
Yeah.
set that up. And thank you. She's gone now, but
Yeah.
thank her for seeing something. But that did begin, and then I began to tell the truth about what I was
Hmm.
experiencing. I I developed friendships that could hold me as I was.
Hmm.
Those same people, the people that I was friends with then, there are four of them that I'm still
Wow.
close with, and we're going to Italy to celebrate our 60th birthdays in June. And that's been, my need for connection and reflection and witnessing other people and being witnessed
Yeah.
and held by them. It's just so vital for me. And I have this group, this cohort that
Hmm.
we've been going through our whole lives since we were 18 and 19 years old together. And we're not the same. Like, I'm the only one really on kind of this kind of a spiritual
Uh-huh.
path.
Yeah.
Um, but we love each other. They're
Yeah.
coming to my 60th
Oh,
concert.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
hope to meet them.
I hope so. They'll be in the
Yeah.
front row with me.
Okay.
Please come. Let me introduce you to
I
them.
will.
Yeah.
That's really special. And I like that, we're talking about like humanity and seeing the good, but sometimes, like you said, it's those people that put things in motion that we never even see, that we never even really know or realize that are there for our good too.
Yeah.
And I think when we see the bad, sometimes we can like focus on it so much and forget because we're kind of tunnel vision to all of the good around us,
Oh,
all of the
absolutely.
people that help us in ways we don't even really know or we might forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bad isn't really bad. I mean, it
It
is.
feels bad,
It
but yes,
is.
yeah.
But there's that Bible verse. I think your mom and I have talked about it once, like Romans 8:20. All things work together
Yeah.
for the good of them that love God. And for me, like, the code to that is to just really have my face set towards spirit, towards a
Hmm.
higher reality. If I do that, then everything will be for my good. And
Hmm.
whereas I could knock wood, but so
Yeah.
far so good. That is
Yes.
true. It
Yeah.
just continue. Even the most painful things have been invitations, the divine just going, come here too. I'm here
Hmm.
too.
Hmm.
Come. Yeah, but in the moment, oh my gosh, I've had some really tough moments and
Have you
years.
processed? Have you processed your emotions and not
Yeah.
not repressed them? How have you
I
allowed
have
them?
repressed them for
Oh.
years, and I would numb them for years,
Uh-huh.
and I still have some. I mean, so right now I watch baseball and I knit. That's like my addiction. It's not an addiction. It feels like it. I did tell I was working with a functional medicine doctor on helping me sleep better,
Mhm.
and I told her I knitted, and she said, "Oh, don't quit that. It's so good for your brain."
Uh-huh.
And so I do like to watch sports, and so that I feel like I don't want to be unproductive, so I'll be knitting a sweater or something while I'm. But anyway, I have done a lot of numbing and repressing. I've done a lot of projecting.
Mm.
When I'm feeling something, I'll see it in others and I'll put it out there.
Mm.
I still am have that will still happen sometimes. But what I mean, I think the word that a lot of folks use is regulate your emotions.
Mhm.
And so that means not suppressing or repressing, but to be with it, but in a healthy way. Somehow begin to integrate it, to let it move. And emotional energy moves.
Yeah.
when we repress it, it
Yeah.
stays and it gets
Uh-huh.
stuck in the body, right?
Yes.
But if we can just find ways to feel it, so breathing, really important. And I know you've talked about this. I know you know it, but
Yeah.
I do that, that square breathing thing,
Uh-huh.
just breathing on a count of four, hold for four, breathe out on a count of four, hold for four.
Hmm.
The body remembers and the emotions will settle.
Yeah.
Writing is really good. That's a practice I use. Journaling. Don Miguel Ruiz has this great practice called mitote, which means the stalker in his language, the Toltec. And where if you're having that churning critical thinking, what I mean, not I mean critical thinking, I mean like those judgmental,
Yes.
self-critical thoughts, write them down. Just get a
Yeah.
notebook. And he said, don't put this in your dream journal. Like do it in like something that you're never going to go back and read it.
Uh-huh.
You're just getting it out because that's linear. And
Yeah.
then the cycle stops. Yeah. What else? You
I
asked me
really like
what
that.
else I use. Just any way that can be grounding, walk, move the body,
Yes.
go sit on the grass and lean against a tree. Anything like you can do like that to just
Hmm.
begin to work with the body. And as I said, and I keep coming back to it, find people I can talk
Hmm.
to. That's huge for me. So
Yeah.
here's what I have. I have a sponsor. I have a therapist. I have a coach. I have 3 prayer partners. I meet with an hour every week. I have this other group that I mentioned. I'm just about to start a visioning group with 2 other amazing women.
Wow.
And I sometimes say it at church, and I'm kidding, but it's like this is high maintenance.
Yeah.
I mean, this it takes a lot to keep this functioning. But yeah, I got to do it.
Yeah, that's so good. You have a good group. I try a lot of the practices. I mean, some of them work well for me. Some of them I think would work better if I was more consistent. Moving my body, yes, I feel like that helps everything.
Yeah.
Breathing, I don't know. I'm still working on that. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like not breathing. I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I can like feel it. I'm like, breathe. And then the more I try to think about breathing, the
The
harder it
harder it
becomes.
gets.
So I'm like, ugh. But I agree with, and music is a big one for me too.
Music. Yeah.
Music, oh my gosh, it really helps. I feel like it helps to move energy, especially like emotions. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's like music that makes you cry. It's music that brings you that joy, it can shift how you're feeling so quickly.
Yeah.
But I like that you said journaling and writing down what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, and there's no like hard facts on what I'm about to say. This is all just from like my algorithm and I'm making an assumption. But I feel like I hear a lot of like manifestation, like people saying that you should say only like how you want to be or like who you like say I
Mm-hmm.
am XYZ and kind of avoid like the real truth of the reality. And I feel like that's kind of a dangerous practice sometimes. I like to think of it as like I can say like almost like painting. Like I can say like I'm blue right now, but I know that this will be purple. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know that this canvas is changing, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that this is not the color that I'm like that I just added. And maybe some white gets added and maybe some red and all of these things. But I think it doesn't help to move energy when you don't acknowledge. I mean, don't dwell in it. Don't think you're going to stay there, but if you try to say that like what you're feeling isn't valid, I think it just elongates
I
the
agree. It's
process.
resistance which
Yeah.
creates suffering. No, I think that that's right. And yeah, so I do try not to wallow.
Yeah.
And in my past, I was a big wallower, especially with a bottle of Chardonnay. I mean, I was like, yeah, I would like to wallow. But to acknowledge, that's a good
Yeah.
word. Witness it.
Yeah.
Do you know the Tara Brach rain process?
Mm-mm.
I was thinking about what are the other practices I use. She created this. She's a Buddhist teacher in New
Mm-hmm.
York and beautiful. It's recognize, RAIN, recognize, like I've got something going on.
Yeah.
I'm really sad. I'm really angry. I'm really scared. Recognize and then the next one is allow it just to be
Mm-hmm.
there. Yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
allow. And then the next I is investigate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the journaling comes in.
Yeah.
That's where talking with the therapist might come in. That's the kind of thing. Just what is this? Where have I experienced this before? What is this coming from?
Yeah.
What am I afraid of? And then the last is nurture.
Mm-hmm.
Self-compassion. like Brene Brown brought us all this work about vulnerability and
Mm-hmm.
shame.
Yeah.
Well, Kristen Neff is a professor at UT in Austin, and she did this research-based work on self-compassion. It's
Mm.
really beautiful work that we can't should ourselves into being better,
Mm.
and because what we do is we just feel bad and then we ignore that we're feeling bad and we go do things, crazy behavior. But just love the I love the poetry of Mary Oliver when she says to give the soft animal of our body what it loves.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is good.
I know you've shared a lot about what is helping you like move through like I think spiritually, I think on all levels really you've kind of shared like there's been physical and mental and
Mm-hmm.
like the integration of all of these pieces. Knowing what you have learned from your experience and seeing that, also feeling that we're in a place for humanity of this like evolution, what would you share? Where would you kind of want others to start? And knowing, like you said, we're all different, we all bring different
Mm-hmm.
gifts.
Mm-hmm. Well, so maybe there's a little paradox here too. It's like be who you are.
Mm,
Who you are is a gift. And the thing I keep coming back to is find your tribe, your
mm,
people. And there are going to be some of those people that they might be people you pay to listen to you and help you. There might be a therapist or
yeah.
something like that, or a coach. And some are friends, some are family members. I love your family. It's like your mom and your dad. I know, and I just think they're great. But I think find people, and it's hard because we are so individualized. We're so
Yeah.
different, and sometimes we're saying the same words and not speaking the same language.
Hmm.
We don't always People don't always show up for us the way we need them to. We don't
Hmm.
always show up for others the way they need us to. And yet, for me, it's okay.
Yeah.
There was a writer I love. She wrote A Wrinkle in Time. Do you remember
Hmm.
that book?
Yes.
Madeline
Yeah.
L'Engle. She was a progressive Christian, and she was being interviewed in a progressive Christian magazine years and years ago, probably in the 80s. And they asked her what she thought of like the Christian church today. And she said, "Oh, I think it's awful, but it's the best we have."
Mm.
And she would talk about like this time she was in a small country church, and that she said that in that time when someone was sick, people brought food to our house and
Hmm.
things like that. If I needed to
Mm.
run to the doctor, they would watch my kids. And
Mm.
we have become really isolated. We think that we're connected because
Yes.
of social media, um, but we've got to find time with people to sit. I'm so glad that we're not on Zoom doing this
Yeah.
podcast. That we live kind of in the same
Yeah.
neighborhood, so I drove the 8 minutes over here to your house, and sitting here with you,
Yeah.
it just feels so good to be in your
Yeah.
presence. I love seeing who you are and how
Mm.
you're revealing your light in the world. And this is a big step.
Hmm.
That you're going public with who
Hmm.
you are as a spiritual being,
Yeah.
and you're helping me today, Jackie. So
Mm.
thank you for. So yeah, that's it. Be authentic.
Mm.
Find your authentic self. Tell the truth about it,
Mm.
and find some people that can hold that with you and
Mm.
see you.
Michael, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and sharing so much with us. And you are such a light. I
Thank you.
mean, it's ridiculous. It's so amazing to see someone who's so talented,
Oh,
literally in like every way,
you.
and so knowledgeable and wise and real. And I think what I love the most about talking to you is that I always know it's going to be real to you,
Mm.
real to your experience. And I think that that is love in a certain way, love that you would be open enough to show yourself to other people. And so thank you so much for being here and sharing all of your gifts and everything with us.
Well, thank you
I
for having
appreciate
me.
you.
I knew this would be great. We could stay here for hours, but
Yeah.
thank you. This was great, Jackie.
Thank you. And you all, thank you for tuning in. I hope you join us for next week's episode. Bye.